Now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are looking at a small card game, a sequel to Love Letter. We're talking about Lost Legacy. This is the version called the Starship. It plays very similar to Love Letter, but it's like a Love Letter 2.0 is what it's been kind of touted as. Let's take a look. I'll show you how it's played, and I will see you on the other side. In Lost Legacy, the Starship, there's a draw deck. There's one card that's in what's called the Ruins. Everybody gets dealt one card, and then the start player will take his turn. Now I have one card to start. When it's your turn, you draw one card off the deck. These will be hidden in my hand. Nobody else would see what I have these. And I'd have these cards, and I could basically pick which one I want to do. I would discard it face down in front of me, and I would take the action. Now, interesting to note that it tells you how many of these cards there are. It tells you there's 3 7s, and this middle one means there's only one number 2. Now I can use the general, which would look at the top card of the deck, and then I can exchange that card with my hand. Or I could look at any card in the Ruins, and I could exchange that card with my hand. So let's say this was in my hand, I played the 7. I could look at any card in the Ruins. Right now there's only one card in the Ruins, and it's an Assault card. This is an Assault, which would allow me to look at another player's hand and exchange. Sure, I'll keep that. So I would take this, and this would go face down in the Ruins. Play would continue to the next player, who would have one card. Again, they would draw one card off the top, and they would decide which ones to play. I'm just going to go through different cards and show you what they do. The number 4 Swordsman. You could look at another player's hand. If that card is an X, the X effect is canceled, and that player is eliminated. Now, that player would completely be eliminated from the game. If you're the last one standing after that, you win. Now, that X that it's talking about, there's some cards that has X. It's called Sneak Attack. If this card's in your hand and is looked at by another player, discard this card, and you get the hand of that player. That player is also eliminated. So there's a lot of eliminating things with that. So that's the Sneak Attack, and of course the Swordsman could still kill that guy even if he had that Sneak Attack in there. Sister of Fate, if this card's in your hand and is looked at by another player, you are eliminated. So you don't want to get caught with her. Now the reason why this might seem not like a powerful card is she has a number 1. And I'll get to why this is important later, but having the lower number in your hand at the end of the game is better. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Shadow Thief. Look at another player's hand or any card in the Ruins. If that card is the Lost Legacy, you win the game. Well, there is the Lost Legacy. There's only one of these, and it can't be played, but if you have that card, basically you're trying to find where this card is at the end of the game, and that's how you end up winning. And we have an old map. Look at the top card of the deck and place it in the Ruins. Then you may shuffle the Ruins because you may know where something is there, or maybe not, or maybe you think your opponent does. Now the game ends in a couple different ways. If everybody's eliminated except you before the deck ends, you automatically win. If the deck is completely gone, we go to an investigation phase. Here is just the Ruins. And so let's say, like I said earlier, having this 1 is important because what happens is the investigation order, everyone gets to investigate once. Now it starts from lowest number. So we'll say, does anybody have a 1 card? And if I say yes, then I get to say, I get to investigate. And I can investigate anything in my hand. I can investigate anything in another player's hand, or I can investigate anything in the Ruins. So if I had just the only Lost Legacy card, and those are 5s, I could basically investigate my own hand and win. But of course, on number 5, the people that have the lower numbers are going to be able to investigate first. So I could say, I could already know that the Lost Legacy is here, and I could say, oh yeah, because I saw it earlier, I would find the Lost Legacy and I would win. Or I could really think it's in my opponent's hand and claim it's in his, and if he shows it that it is, I win. So people would investigate in order. You only get 1 investigation, and it goes from lowest number to highest number. The person that finds the Lost Legacy at this point wins. If nobody does, nobody wins. And depending on the amount of players, you play a certain amount of rounds till somebody has won that many points or rounds, and after that, the game's over. When I first heard about Lost Legacy, I was very excited because Love Letter is one of my favorite games, and everyone's saying it's a gamer version of it. It's Love Letter 2.0. It's just got a little bit more complexity. Everything about that makes it seem like this would be amazing. For me, it kind of falls flat, and it might be because my hopes were too high, or it might be that, I don't know what it is. This one's hard for me to explain. The Starship specifically, I think I did not like it as much as the Flying Garden. I don't dislike Take That or Aggressive or games where you're trying to eliminate other players a lot, but this one was definitely the more aggressive deck of the two. But I don't know, the whole idea sounds cool. You pick up the cards, there's ruins, you're trying to figure out where the Lost Legacy is and get it towards the end. And it all sounds cool, but for some reason, it just is missing that X factor that's hard for me to place exactly what it is. I don't get the same feeling that when I play this as I did, and I still do when I play Love Letter, that just grabs you and pulls you and says, yes, this is fun. It's cool, it's unique, it's different. I did really want to like this, but for me it was just, and I think it's just because maybe my expectations were too high for it. It's not terrible, but yet it's not. It didn't give me the same feeling, even close to what Love Letter gave me. And this is probably the one I liked the least out of the two that I played. But if you like that aggressive, constantly trying to eliminate players, then this one might be up your chute. You might want to check it out. This is the Lost Legacy, the Starship.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.